Just start right into it.
But I got a thing. I'm ready. Because Meg just tells me to sit down. We're going to do a podcast. So I said, okay, I don't know what this podcast is about. I mean, luckily I have the gift of gab, so it's fine. And we'll all figure out together what Meg wants to talk about.
This is about burnout.
Oh, this is a good one.
And if this was a visual episode,
oh my gosh,
looking at us, you would know that we're currently, if not in burnout, very close to it.
Very close to it. Probably we've been in burnout for years and we just don't know.
Yeah. Just skirting the edge.
Just always on that fine line.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the Chronicles of Caffeine and Ambition, hosted by the Sinders Sisters. I'm Stacey.
And I'm Megan. And what we are here to do on our podcast is tell you about business, life, families, essentially everything that we do, we want to share with you because we have a lot of self-confidence. We've learned a lot of self-confidence over the years.
We sure have.
And we want to share that with you. We want to show you how.
Let's do this.
Okay, now tell me your thing. What's your thing about burnout?
My thing? I don't know what the thing is about burnout. I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast. I got something because you made me sit down and we have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, like you had an intro. You're telling me that you had an intro.
I had an intro.
Oh, I just ruined it.
This is burnout, guys.
This is non-functional burnout. Let me read you some things because these are the top signs of burnout in entrepreneurs. Chronic fatigue, insomnia. They seem to go hand in hand. I mean, honestly, you're not sleeping. Obviously, you're tired. Forgetfulness and impaired concentration and attention.
Check.
Check. Physical symptoms like heart palpitations, like the anxiety type pains, shortness of breath, dizziness, those kinds of things. Headaches, been dealing with some of that lately. Increased illness, so like your autoimmune system isn't working properly because you're not functioning properly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that too.
Loss of appetite, I feel like that might be you.
Yeah, that was today for sure. Mm-hmm. Had a heck of a last few days.
Yeah.
So
anxiety, depression.
Every day.
Yeah.
Not depression.
Just anxiety.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe it is depression. We just don't think it is.
Maybe.
Because we're like, it's all good. Let's smile and move on. Yay. I always feel like, you ever know that? Remember that Simpsons? Let's completely stop Meg talking.
Remember when I talked about concentration and...
I have zero. I'm like a squirrel on cocaine.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Anyway, the Simpsons episode you're referencing, yes.
Yeah. No. That was the one where Maggie gets out of Lisa gets out of the car and Marge says to her, just be good and smile and it's okay and everything is going to be fine.
Oh, and she puts that like super big fake smile on her face. Yeah, I remember
and leaves the car and then Marge completely loses it because you all have to be fake and happy all the time. Yeah. That's what I feel like we do sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. Can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that's what gets us through. So I suppose that's the point of what we're talking about, though, because we skirt the line of burnout or have been in continual burnout because we haven't done anything about it for possibly 10 years now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to discuss how you...
A vacation.
We do have plans for that.
We do.
What was the first time you realized that you were in burnout?
I couldn't even tell you how many years ago. Years back, sewing. At the end of most sewing seasons, we're so burnt that you just can't function. Like you can't function to find the shoe that is right beside your foot. But it's after a really heavy season of trying to juggle it all, do a summer with the kids to try and do something with them, but then also try and keep work afloat, but then like just trying to juggle all the balls. And a few seasons back, like I think the worst burnout I think we've ever had was 2 sewing seasons ago.
Yeah, two summers ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember we talked about it and we swore that we would never, ever, ever do that again because I don't think I've ever been that burnt out. Like that was really bad. It took me like a lot. Maybe I've never recovered from it.
Maybe we didn't recover from that one. And I think that's the point though. I mean, at the very minimum, we've been through it multiple times.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons and because of multiple, like of different businesses.
Yes.
Not just one has caused it. Multiples have caused it. But at the very minimum, all I can say for what we're doing now is that at least we acknowledge it. Because in the beginning, we didn't realize it.
True.
Even before that sewing season, like 2 sewing seasons ago, where it was probably one of the worst. Before that, I don't think it crossed our mind that that's what was happening at the end of the sewing seasons.
It's a good point.
It was just season.
It was just season. Yeah, you're just how you feel at the end of season, because everybody feels that way. I mean, we just feel extra because of the extra pressure that's on us to make sure that everything functions as it should.
Well, to keep the sewing going, because it's a skill that we have that not many people have, so we always get pulled in to help with it. But in order to get pulled in to help with that, where's the time coming to finish the rest of the things that we have to do, to run the business, to pay the bills, to do all the mundane things, you and the social media, like the year that you had to do the two of those together.
It was a lot of social media of me at my desk sewing.
That's true. That's true.
This is what I'm making today. This is what I'm doing. Yeah.
Well, and we talk a lot, we laugh a lot about the fact that we're inconsistent. And is it because of what we do and how we've allowed ourselves to be? Is it because of the business? Is it because we were that way to begin with? And it just works. That's why we're entrepreneurs, because we're inconsistent and we can do what we want to do when.
Well, and I think it's easily enough for us to pivot into whatever the other issue is, or if it's a problem or whatever have you. It at least doesn't bother us to be like, well, I wasn't planning on doing that today, so we're not doing it. I think that makes it a little bit easier.
But the years that it got so bad, juggling all of those aspects was dramatically worse. Yes.
I think we've gotten better at being consistent. We've also gotten really better after that. We got really good at delegating, being like, I'm not doing that, or I'm not willing to do that again. Like after that sort of thing where we said we're not doing this anymore, we did actually stop doing some things.
So one of our worst times with burnout was 2 years ago.
Correct.
What have we done since then? What did we implement since then?
Hired on new people. And delegated out like people that were better than us at the roles that we weren't great at or we didn't like doing. And so we hired on people and said, okay, I need you to do this. Like asked a lot more. We're really not good at asking people for help.
No, we're terrible.
We're also in that position. Like, if you run a business at the beginning, you can't hire on the best people to do all the things because it just financially isn't. It's not possible.
No, at the beginning, you have to be that person, whether you're the best at it or not.
Correct. But then we were at a point that we could actually hire people on to do those roles, and then they get done better and faster and sooner. So I think we were able to see that.
So we learned delegation. I would totally agree with you. And that was a big part of not getting back to that point again.
Yeah.
So far.
I think also taking time off and not feeling guilty. It took a long time, but then also voicing about when you do feel guilty about doing the thing or whatever, actually communicating and being like, I feel really upset that I wasn't in today and that I didn't see somebody or I didn't finish something or whatever have you, and actually voicing it rather than being quiet or laughing things off like we normally do. I think it was, and now I feel way less guilty being like, okay, I take every other Saturday off because my son's home. So, and I spend time with my kids every second Saturday, and that's now a given. There is no thing where it's like, I might be there, I might not be there, or I'm going to come to work, just because I need to. I don't. So putting in the boundaries, I guess, has been helpful. Really hard in the beginning.
It was extremely hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
Also, the reliance on each other. And I'm not saying that we're great at that. We are in many ways very toxic for each other.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And very combative isn't the right word. Competitive?
Both. Yeah. We are competitive and we are competitive.
We cause each other problems because we want each other to be informed. I want to know everything that's going on. You want to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But we've gotten better. Like, I mean, on Friday, I wanted to know what happened with that appointment, but I forgot. I was also very sick.
You've been very sick.
Check back to point 4. What was that point 4? The sickness?
Your immune system
My
is
immune system
compromised? My thyroid can tell you that, Earl. My thyroid says, for sure.
Yeah. We've got a few things that our body is like, please stop doing that. It's a work in progress.
It is.
And we are doing better, I do think. I agree with you. We at least voice the issues. Mm-hmm. We are trying to set boundaries. Mm-hmm. It's not simple. Then that's my point, I guess. The reason entrepreneurs fall into burnout is because we are severely dedicated to reaching our goal.
Yes.
Extremely committed to the business that we're growing.
Yes.
So it creates a toxic environment 100%. But having to manage in your mind, I need to take care of myself, but what if it's a detriment to my goal? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's why it took us so long to get to the point where we started trying to prioritize what we need to do to take care of ourselves in combination
Yeah.
with how to take care of the business better.
I mean, but if we're not in good shape, like if we're forgetting things, if we're not consistent, if we're not like all the things that we need to be as business owners, because we're burnt out, we're not helping the business either. We don't help the girls when we come in and we're like the squirrels. They enjoy it.
Exactly.
Somewhat.
I've started asking. So, I mean, I think they enjoy it when we are very infrequently in the office.
Because we're like a show. It's
we're
like watching
entertainment. We're entertainment value. But infrequently, because if we go there too often, then it's too much.
Yeah, I don't disagree on that. It's a lot.
And we scatter them.
Yeah, we sure do. We sure do.
Our brains do not necessarily work in the same way that everybody else's do.
No. I mean, like we talked about previously, we need very consistent people and who are great at what they do. And we do. We have an amazing team, and they are all very good and consistent and keep everybody on track.
There's a reason that we have people who do that.
Yeah.
Because we do not do it for ourselves.
We do not.
For anybody else.
No.
It's not something that somebody could ask of us.
No, definitely not.
What do you think we still need? Like, what are the things that we still need to get better at to prevent burnout? Since we know that we're either on the edge of it or in it already. Again.
More delegation. I think there's a couple things that we still need to get off of us doing in order for us. Because we're always looking ahead. We always have bigger, longer term goals. So I think what needs to change is a few more things to delegate. There's a few more things I think we need to get off our plate because we have plans for the future. Because as an entrepreneur, you're always thinking of the new latest thing, what you want to do next. So I think in order to do the next thing, I think we still need a few more things taken off our plate in order to do the next thing. Because what we have here is phenomenal. And I think the team we have is great. And I'm loving where it's going. It just needs that little extra couple people or couple things changed, and then I think it can just run on its own, and we're on to our next adventure. And
efficiencies, I think, is a lot to wrap everything that you just said into one specific thing. I think it's efficiencies, not just with us or with everybody on the team, but with our processes as well.
Yes, agree.
The efficiency is lost a lot.
Completely agree.
I mean, fixing it is hard. It's a continual work in progress because even though we realized that it happened so badly that year, we haven't stopped ourselves from getting back into it. It's not like we haven't been burnout since. I definitely have.
100%. I think right now it's a different burnout because we're trying to fix it in other ways. Like we know that there's other things rather than just the sewing. We know that there's other things that are the problem. And I think we're trying because we know that the light is at the end of the tunnel. We're so close, and probably I think that's why the burnout's been bad, but we're still pushing through it because we know we're almost there. We can't stop now and just be like, I need to take some time off, or I need to not do anything today, because we're down, like right now, we're down to, probably 10 weeks before this last major thing that we're doing with the business is finalized. So it's so close.
I'm trying to remember a time too, though, because I mean, we are extremely stubborn, and it's unfair to put it that way in a sense, because when it is major burnout, you're just incapable. You're incapable of continuing life as normal. But we are also extremely stubborn and extremely resilient. So sometimes do we function through burnout? Yeah, I do think we do.
Definitely.
So I'm trying to picture the time. Like, I mean, it got really, really bad for me when you guys were away.
Went to Charlotte. Yeah.
I remember that time was real, real bad. But I'm trying to remember if even knowing it, I knew that it was bad. I knew I was starting to freak out. It went real, real, real bad.
It went real bad, and I couldn't do anything because we were way far, far away.
But did I stop? Did I go home? Did I take a break? Or
I don't think you did, because I called the team to ask if you were in or if you were there, and they said yes. And I called a whole bunch of other people just to check on you. So I'm going to say no. I'm pretty sure you still came to work.
Yeah, I think that's true. So, I mean, I do know for myself. So, I mean, even if I'm trying to give myself the benefit of the doubt that I've realized when I'm in it, or when I'm starting to get in it. I know the signs. I know how my brain feels, and I know that that twitchiness. I can feel that it's coming. I'm trying to give myself the benefit of the doubt that I try to back off, that I try to slow down, to not have it happen or have it not so bad as it has been in the past. But I can't actually picture things that I have done. Like going to the spa helps me sometimes.
Yes, okay.
And literally just de-stressing for the entire day, sitting there in the heated pools. But do I do it in conjunction with that? Because it doesn't have to be in conjunction. I'm trying to regiment my burnouts. Is what I'm trying to do.
No, we're not supposed to have burnouts. I think that we've gotten so much better at it and understanding and realizing what also gives us the burnout that I think we can catch it and take the time off and do all the things so we don't burn out before it even gets. And that's the whole reason behind everything we're doing currently.
Maybe the small things are actually helpful at this point. If that's true, then like some of the things are finding your way to de-stress, like you're finding your calm, that kind of thing, backing away or putting something aside. So maybe that's it. Maybe we do work in smaller ways, like the every other weekend off, or it was a long weekend this past weekend and I didn't work at all, which is me again telling myself that I'm doing better, but really I was just so deathly sick that I couldn't work, because I would have if I could have.
That's so true.
I feel like you might be doing better at this than I am.
No, because I still work. I still work. I came in on the weekend to finish up a dress. Sewing, of course.
It's funny because it was my weekend to be in, and we're like, we're doing so much better. We take every second weekend off, and this was my weekend to work. I did not come in.
No, I didn't,
because I shouldn't have been here.
No,
well, I mean, I should have been here, but I shouldn't have been in the building near anybody, because it would have been really bad for everybody. But you were here when it was your weekend to be off. I feel like these things that we should be doing, like this list that I'm going to read you, that we just said that we think that we're doing better at, which I'm not saying that we're not doing better at it, but like setting boundaries. Did we follow our boundaries?
No. Oh, okay. I guess the reason behind it, I mean, no, I shouldn't be sewing. I sew way less than what I used to ever. And I can't expect to quit everything cold turkey. I can't expect not to be like, to all of a sudden just be like, you know what, guys, that's it. I'm done. Imagine if I was like, I'm going to take a week off next week.
But sometimes don't you think that maybe that would work?
It might help, but I'm a little worried about the amount of stuff that has to get done, and there is no one to catch it if I don't do it.
Then it doesn't get caught. That's my point, though. And I'm not saying in a little bit. I'm not saying in a weak purpose. I'm saying in the sense that what if that actual linchpin, that key to this, is that those things that fall when you're gone are the things that we shouldn't pick back up.
I see. 100% the thing that will fall, we know we need somebody to pick it up, the marketing.
That's awkward. Yes.
100% that will fall.
Yes.
So, but we know that there's a person for that.
You're right. Okay, so well, I mean, that's next on the docket.
That's it. And that's what I mean. I don't feel burnt out currently. Like, I know I came in for a few hours and it wasn't a big deal, but it also was for me to feel like I knew I had other things going on today. So I was like, I know I'm not going to get that dress done today. So if I go in for a couple hours, then it's done. Like, the part that I needed done is done. And then I took the morning off this morning. So I guess it's also flipping around my time a little bit. And I didn't feel guilty that I took the morning off this morning. So I was like, because I got my stuff done. And if anybody needs me, they phone call me. And I can do a lot of work in the car if I need to. So it's a lot of, not for me, feeling way better. But I also I guess, I don't feel burnt out about this new adventure, because it's something new, and for me that's really exciting to go into something else, to design something else, to try. And I guess because the other stuff was so mundane and I really didn't want to do it anymore, your brain, it was, I don't know why we're here, I hate doing this, and the burnout feels so horrible, whereas this stuff is more exciting. I'm looking forward to it, which maybe helps. Maybe it is burnout. It could be. I just figure my brain is old and I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm like got dementia, because the kids tell me all the time, Mom, you said that 3 times already.
That's amazing.
I get that a lot.
No, but I do agree with you. This what we're doing right now, I don't feel the stress of everything all at once is definitely causing a factor for me, but the aspect of it itself, this huge change, I am excited for this change. So maybe it is holding off the burnout because of the excitement of it. Yes. I feel like this will be a relief.
I agree.
A massive change and a relief.
Hands down, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, agree.
So you're right. Is it partly causing some of the problems that I'm dealing with at this moment?
Definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
But I'm not going to put it off. I'm going to work harder to make that happen, because I feel like once it's done, that will solve a lot more issues.
Hands don't agree with you.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm still going to read this list, because boundaries is the first one.
We are way better at boundaries than we used to be ever in our lives, ever.
You're right. I did say it's a work in progress.
Yep.
Delegation. So good.
Getting better.
Okay. Got way better. A support network. And we have a huge support network.
We have a massive support network here. And I mean, I guess outside.
We could do better at that.
We could do better at outside.
We do need the things that de-stress us in the sense of like friend groups and things that you do that are external to work, because all we do is work.
Correct.
So we are falling down on that one aspect.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
But otherwise, support network. And also, I do think, I come back to this so frequently in all of our episodes, but because there's two of us and we now know each other so well, not that we didn't know each other well when we were 3 because we're sisters and we know each other, yes. But you know what I mean. We appreciate each other.
Because I know.
That, I think, is also integral to the whole thing because we offset each other.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So it's not just a support network. Like, we have a huge support network. But if I literally fall down crying on the floor, you are there.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. And I think it's also, like the other day I came in the office and she's on the phone and I was like, what's going on? And she's like, nothing, it's all good. I'm like, don't lie to me.
Technically what I said is you weren't supposed to walk in at that moment.
I was not supposed, because I know when shit's going down. I know when she's unhappy. I know when she's sad. I know when she's scary mad, and most people aren't like, oh no, it's just Meg, she's okay. I'm like, she's not okay.
Like when you called when you were in South Carolina and
yeah,
you were like, what's wrong with Meg? And everybody's like, nothing, she's fine.
She's here, she's fine, everything's okay. I'm like, oh my god, the shit's going down. Make sure she's okay. Oh my god.
I have a pretty good poker face.
You were pretty good at it. But yes, no, I feel you for that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, outside support,
a lot harder when it's just you.
Yes,
because if you fall and it's just you running it, who picks up the pieces?
Good point.
Somebody might be there to pick up the pieces, and I hope to God that person that you have as your second in the business is capable of picking it up the way you would want it to.
Totally agree.
But because we share it, I think that makes a huge difference.
Yes. What I'm hearing out of this is that Chris needs to buy me a horse so that I can go ride, and that's my support group.
I honestly wish that it was a visual episode, because the look that I just got on my face of how did you connect those dots?
Because that's my outside thing to do.
So what I'm getting is that I need a pony.
Yes, yes I do.
I'm not saying I'm not going to disagree with you. It's fine.
We could get horses.
There you go. What I'm hearing is that Chris needs to buy me a horse. What I'm hearing is that your husband needs to buy you and me a horse.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm.
He's going to be real surprised when he hears this episode. Take breaks is number 4.
Yeah.
We're supposed to take breaks.
Right.
And I do honestly think that is something that we should talk about more. We should think about more. We should work that in, because we do actually need to take real breaks. Not a break that has to do with the fact that you had to take this morning off so that you could drive someone somewhere because you had to. That's not a thing for you. You're not doing that for you. No.
I'm driving across Canada. Is that a break?
I will. Chris is going to hear this podcast, so I'm going to stay out of that.
That's not a break either, is it? That's mandatory, drive across Canada. Yeah. All right. Fine. So breaks for myself. Mm-hmm. Riding my horse.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
Deal.
You got it. Staying active. Riding horses would keep you active.
I like it, man.
I think we could just loop all this back to buying a horse.
We're
getting horses.
I am liking this a lot, actually.
Number 6 is seek professional help. That feels like a dig, honestly.
That's a complete dig right there.
But we have... it was only like a year ago.
We did. We went actually and saw somebody essentially for burnout and like what to do when we felt really lost. And we did. It was good. I really, really was happy. And then we grew out of it essentially. So would I go and do it again? Hands down. I would love to go and I have lots of things I want to do in that aspect of life. Like I know there's a ton of things that we need to work on still. We've come from where we were when we started this in our mental journey to where we are now. Damn proud of us, because the change is huge. Yeah
I totally agree.
No, so yes, do we need more help? 100%.
Maybe more consistent, although because we work off each other, sometimes it adds extra stress to each other, but it also helps because we can work off each other, run things by each other, share the stress, spread it around a little bit. Feel the emotional baggage.
My therapist says you need to take some of my bags. Thanks.
Well, technically, one of them did say
they should. Yeah, they should. She said I was supposed to put them down. Put the bags down.
Put the bags down and
leave them there. Is what she said.
we're close enough that we've shared we've shared our outcomes from our seeking professional help. Okay, yes. We are doing much better on all of those.
I agree.
And it is always a continual work in progress. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to talk about it today because there are so many people in this position. There are so many people that deal with burnout. Mm-hmm. There's so many people that are dealing with it currently who don't realize what it is.
Yeah, so that's true.
Everything that I've been reading about lately about burnout is the most important factor is understanding how you show the signs.
Okay.
So it's unfair. Like I read the list of the fatigue, the insomnia, the forgetfulness and all that kind of thing.
Yes.
So the first time I read that list in my head, I'm like, I'm all of those all the time. And it's not fair to say that I'm burnt out all the time. Close to it most of the time, maybe.
Probably you're close to it most of the time.
But I have 3 small children as well. I'm fatigued. I don't sleep that well. They get up frequently.
Yes. But I think for you, the time for yourself is important to recharge you because they are a lot. They're a lot. They're little kids. They're busy.
So it's not just one thing.
No.
Like I can't blame this on the business.
No, not fully. No.
Can't blame it on my kids. It's just life.
Yeah.
So all of these pieces, like all of these signs of burnout can be related to multiple things and can come from different aspects of your life. Mm-hmm. But you have to know those signs to realize that I know that if I don't deal with those early signs of how I start feeling, I will then start to like feel that like ticking. It's like a ticking time bomb inside my body that I know that it's getting closer, or like it's like the rubber band that's getting like tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and I know that it'll snap if I don't do something about it.
Agree.
So I mean, at least I'm not necessarily able to verbalize that those things are happening, but I can feel them. So I do try to make sure that they don't snap. Since South Carolina,
I don't want another one of those episodes, man.
I've tried really hard. And we have plans after this next massive change is over. We have plans to figure out how to take better care of ourselves.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, which is great, and I think that's part of knowing that we are burnout or close to it. And I think we're working on fixing it. Not an overnight thing by any means.
No, that's true.
It took us years to get into this. It's gonna take us a little bit to get out of it. Mm-hmm. So will we get there? Yeah. And is it going to be worth it? Yeah,
100% it will.
Yeah.
This will be probably episode 1 of many on burnout because I think we could keep going.
Because we're like masters.
We're masters of we're masters of getting it, of creating it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Of managing it well or not. I'm not specifying, but yes. So I feel like we will touch on this subject again. But what I want to know from everybody listening is, like, given the lists that I read and the things that we have dealt with, the way that we feel through our burnout, and the pieces that we've tried to integrate so that we deal with it better, so we don't necessarily get into burnout. So of the listeners, what do you feel? What do you see coming? What's your trigger sign? How do you know?
How do you know you're getting
How do you know
burned?
that it's coming? Because that's one of the most important things, is to watch for those signs so that you know that it's coming and you can try and head it off. If you're driven, if you're passionate, it's likely to happen.
Yeah.
But you can limit the effects.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it. Let us know. What's your trigger sign for burnout?
Until next time, everybody.